For as long as I can remember growing up in my family, I had always wanted a dog. It was that one thing that was stuck on my mind from a young age, just wanting to have a dog to play with, play catch with. And I remember the actual time when my mom came in and asked. I was taking a shower and she came in to check herself in the mirror. And me being a young boy, I didn't really wash too well, so she asked if I had washed right, and I used that to my advantage. And I said, yeah, I can wash right if you give me a dog. And of course she said yes, because she had heard enough. And of course it was with attitude like any mom. So the next day my dad looks in the newspaper and finds an article for a litter of chocolate labs in the town over for sale. As soon as we got there, I saw a whole bunch of dogs, and I knew exactly which one I wanted. The one boy dog in the litter. He had to be mine. But, of course, parents being parents, they said no to it on that day, and we came back the next one. And when we got back, there was only one dog left. The one girl dog. At first, I was so devastated. I wanted the boy dog. And I couldn't believe it. But after looking in those huge, cute puppy dog eyes, I couldn't say no. And we took her home that day. From then on, those years after ended up being the happiest of my life. Little did I know that this same thing that brought so much joy could create so much pain. Nala was always very playful and was one of the dogs that loved to play fetch, of course. But when she stopped chasing the ball so often, we could tell something was up, and we took her to the doctor. Over the summer of my senior year, going into college, my family was devastated to learn that Nala, the dog who would always be an example of health and life, was diagnosed with cancer. The same dog I was skeptical of even getting at first would soon be gone out of my life. By then she was 10 years old, which is old for dogs, but her presence was still there for as long as I can remember. And the thought of her not being there never even crossed my mind prior. Maybe that thought process is juvenile, but something about her being around her always made me feel youthful, like the same 9-year-old who adopted her on that fateful day. And even at my worst, she knew how to bring out the kid in me, somehow, someway. In her life, she was more to me than an animal. She was a someone, a being I could look to for comfort when the world was against me. Growing up, I was teased because of my weight and was never really one to have many friends. Nala was more than a friend. She would be there to listen and never talk back or tease me. She knew more secrets about myself than I can remember to this day. And of course, she taught me the basics of any animal, of any pet. She taught me things like how to feed a dog, how to clean a dog, walk a dog, the basic things for a pet. And she taught me things that any pet would be a teacher of: responsibility, affection, hard work, stuff like that. But it was the intangibles that really made her special. As she laid there, 10 years passed. In her life, I wondered, what could she be thinking? Her breath heavy, her eyes half open. I knew this was the decision would finally put her at peace. August 5th, 2013, Nala was put to sleep due to the growing cancer in her chest, making it the best decision for our family and by the doctor's input. I remember laying next to her at the vet for what seemed an eternity, crying and crying. The once full of wondrous life corpse in front of me was now gone. I simply didn't want to leave. I couldn't. I wanted to be by her side for as long as possible. The tears just kept raining out. Monday, Friday, and eternity. I can even remember to this day my tears being endless. More and more and more and more. It seemed like a pool of tears just clouded underneath me right at that moment. So 3 weeks pass, and my dad walks in with a box he just got from the vet, with a golden plaque on the front and the words, "In loving memory of Nala Haley," engraved. To this day, that box rests in my room and is a constant reminder of the glorious creature spirit it represents. Nala was a teacher to me as much as I was to her. Her life really brought the new meaning to "a dog is a man's best friend." And I never really understood it till I actually had a dog of my own. I know heaven has a place for a spunky one like her up there, and I'm sure I'll see her again. Nala, I love you, and I hope to see you.